Hey, welcome back. Sapporo in winter is where seafood breakfasts, underground city life, and snow-bright streets all somehow belong together. Do this well, and it feels crisp, roomy, and oddly cozy. Do it badly, and you're just cold, underfed, and looking at the wrong things. I already mapped the whole trip into a template, so if you want it, the link's in the description. This one works best as a winter city break. Short hops, covered passages, open snowy views, and regular excuses to stop for something warming. First, get Sapporo at street level. Breakfast, the underground survival system. Then a park that shows why downtown feels so unusually open. Nijo Market is the older market side of central Sapporo, and the point is the meal more than some giant cinematic market scene. Come in the morning because breakfast is really why this place works, with bright seafood cases and people acting very normal about excellent fish. The mood is half wet winter air outside, half heated room inside, then a bowl of seafood quietly fixing your outlook. It also tells you something useful fast. Sapporo is not just a snow backdrop, it's a working city with serious food habits. Chikeho is the underground passage linking central Sapporo, and for a first-timer, it explains how the city actually functions in winter. This is not grand sightseeing, it's practical urban life done well with coffee smells, pop-ups, polished floors, and everybody sensibly avoiding the wind. I like it because it turns a transfer into part of the city's personality instead of dead travel time. Mid-morning feels better than rushier moments, when it reads less like commuter tunnel and more like advanced mall navigation with civic purpose. Odori Park is the long civic strip through central Sapporo, the easiest place to understand the city's scale in one walk. What stands out is the space, snow underfoot, towers at the edges, traffic nearby, and this broad white corridor holding it all together. In winter, it feels less like a lounging park and more like a stage set for weather, lights, and determined pedestrians. Afternoon suits it because the light is kinder and clearer central paths make the walk feel less like a debate with your footing. Day 2 is Sapporo getting oddly good at modest landmarks, stately brick, and a beer story that makes the city's name feel more grounded. The Sapporo Clock Tower is an early modern landmark in the middle of downtown, famous partly because people keep expecting something much bigger. That is also why it's interesting. The building is small, wooden, and almost politely outmatched by the modern city around it. Inside, the scale stays compact, so treat it as a quick historic punctuation mark rather than the emotional climax of your trip. Morning helps here, when fewer people are crowding around a very small subject and you spend less time checking you found the right building. The former Hokkaido Government Main Office gives central Sapporo some frontier-era seriousness, with red brick and formal symmetry against the modern business district. At first glance, it reads almost European, which is exactly why it lands so differently from the glass and concrete city around it. Snow helps this stop because the grounds go quiet, the brick stands out harder, and the whole scene looks more deliberate. I would focus on the exterior first. If interior access matters to you, treat that as a bonus rather than the whole reason to come. The Sapporo Beer Museum is where the city name stops being branding and starts reading as local industry, climate, and everyday identity. It is one of those pleasingly honest museums where the history and the reward system are in suspiciously close alignment. Brick interiors, brewing imagery, and that warm, malt-heavy atmosphere make this a good afternoon shift after architecture and photo stops. If you want a tasting or special add-on, check that before you go, because the museum itself is not huge and the extras shape the visit. The last day leans playful, then quiet, then properly dramatic. Sweets, shrine calm, and a night view that finally shows Sapporo's full scale. Shiroi Koibito Park is a chocolate-themed attraction built around a famous local sweet, and yes, it is more theatrical than it strictly needed to be. What makes it work is how completely it commits: decorative facades, sweet air, warm interiors, and winter outside, making the whole thing feel even more staged. It matters for a first trip because Hokkaido's dairy and snack reputation shows up here in a way that's actually easy to enjoy. Go earlier if workshops matter to you, because later on the family traffic and popular hands-on bits start feeling noticeably tighter. Hokkaido Jingu is a major shrine set in wooded grounds, and it gives Sapporo a quieter, more ceremonial side than downtown ever does. The real appeal is the approach, snow-muted paths, cold air, a bit of hush, then the shrine arriving gradually instead of all at once. It works so well in winter because the snow strips away distraction and makes the whole place feel more solemn than scenic. Leave time to walk it properly. Rushing in for one gate photo misses the point of why this stop feels different. Mount Moiwa's ropeway is the classic big view finish, where Sapporo suddenly spreads out below you and stops pretending to be modest. The ascent matters almost as much as the top because the cabin ride turns a viewpoint into an actual event. On a clear evening, the city lights below look almost circuit board neat, with snow and darkness making the grid stand out even harder. Prioritize visibility over stubborn scheduling, and yes, this is where one extra warm layer stops feeling theoretical. Sapporo's trick is that it feels practical and wintry right up until it slips in a perfect meal, a quiet shrine path, or a huge night view. If you want the route template, I've got it built out and editable with a map view linked in the description and pinned comment. Drop your must-keep Sapporo stop in the comments, especially if it's food-related and slightly unreasonable.